While we were out on our road trip, I went ahead and subscribed to FSD and was using the old 12.3.6 for the entire road trip until we got home. Sure enough, the very next morning after we got home and the car had connected to our home Wi-Fi, we got FSD 12.5.4.1. We're going to test it out in this video and give you some of our thoughts. We've been back from the road trip for about a week and a half, and I've been using this new FSD 12.5.4.1. There's a thing I like about it, and there are some things that I don't like about it. I like that the nag has pretty much gone away because it's using visuals to make sure that I'm paying attention, but there are some other issues, and we're going to talk about that on the drive. We're driving in to shoot the video that you saw last week about our road trip wrap-up, and Rachel's going to come along. We've got the other camera set up so you can kind of see what the car is doing, and we'll talk you through some of the things that this FSD software does. So I'm going to go into the screen and tap autopilot, and I've got full self-driving supervised is activated. It is set on assertive. I do not have minimal lane changes turned on. I've got the, because there's not really much need for lane changes on the route we're going, expanded full self-driving visualization. I've got park assist on standard. I'm going to turn that on to Tesla Vision. And I do not have the automatic set speed offset. This was something new when I got the software. It allows autopilot to drive at the speed limit that it determines is most natural. This considers factors like road type, traffic flow, environmental conditions, speed limit, and the selected full self-driving profile. And I have that turned off. When I first got it, I had it on, and the things that I don't like about this software, that made it worse. So we're driving with that off. So if you have any questions, we have the actually smart summon turned on. We're not going to be playing with that today. We'll have another video coming out on that. And I've got the offset set at plus 5 miles an hour. I don't have anything on the percentage, etc. So we're going to do our drive and show you what it does. FSD is engaged. The first time that I used this new software to drive, it was close to sunset and we were driving into the setting sun, and FSD did not see this stop sign and it ran it, or it tried to, and I had to disengage to stop. This time, without the setting sun, it has caught the stop sign and off we go.
Okay, to me that's a design flaw. I mean, it is weird that an electronic mechanical device has the exact same problems that a human does.
Well, yeah, that's because this system is set up from the cameras. It's not using radar, it's not using LiDAR, it's just using the cameras. So if we can't see it with our eyes, the cameras can't see it with its eyes.
I mean, I see that, but it just seems like the technology exists.
That was a stop for no reason.
Yeah.
No cars coming, no animals out, or anything like that.
It seems to me that the technology exists, that they could have used radar, LiDAR, sonar, what have you, so that the FSD is actually better at detecting obstacles than a human is. What?
I'm being the sonar.
Oh, okay, thanks. It just seems like, why would you bother to spend this much time and energy and money on a product that does no better than a person would? That just seems weird to me.
This road is a 35 mile per hour road, and it is doing the speed limit. It's got the max set at 35, and it is doing 35. The only thing that I've done different in the settings to what I've done this week is I turned on the parking assist to Tesla Vision. But one of the things that bugs me about this FSD 12.5.4.1, besides all the different decimals in there, is that it doesn't maintain the set speed. It will slow down. I can have it set at 60 on a 60 mile an hour zone, and it'll do 57 and it'll stay there. The old software, 12.3.6, I could adjust by the wheel and I could get the car to increase the set speed. Moving the wheel does nothing now. It adjusts the set speed, but it does not speed the car up. If I want this car to speed up to the speed I've set it to, I have to depress the accelerator, which is intuitive, but what I liked about the wheel is one click was 1 mile per hour. It was accurate. I could do it without looking. I could keep my eyes on the road instead of on the speedometer and know I was bumping up 1 or 2 miles per hour. Now I've got to put my foot on the accelerator and watch to make sure when I get to my set speed if I want a specific speed. And that is a change in the software that makes no sense to me whatsoever.
You know, that's always been a limitation of cruise control or even accelerating with, manual acceleration, is that you have to watch your speedometer, and that means you have to take your eyes off the road to check your speed, right?
The very first time I ever drove a Tesla, I commented about how I loved that wheel and just moving it and feeling the clicks to increase or decrease the miles per hour. I knew exactly what I was doing. And a quick spin is 5 miles per hour up or down. I need to drop 10 miles an hour. I could go down twice real quick and I'm there. I don't have to take my eyes off the road to do it. And I loved that. And now it's basically gone. It adjusts the set speed, but it does not accelerate the car. It will decelerate it for a speed trap. We've got a speed trap coming up that it'll do just fine on. The car thinks the speed limit on this road is, there we go, 34. It's set at 35. It decelerated to 34 for no real reason. I mean, there's another truck coming, but in oncoming traffic, but why did we need to slow down for that?
Yeah.
Now we're down to 33. I've done nothing to adjust the speed. Hit the wheel, there it goes to 40. Car's slowing down to 32. So if I'm going to go back to 35 and depress the accelerator to get it to 35. And there were no other vehicles on the road during that.
Yeah, there was no discernible reason for it to have done that.
The car wants to drive where it's comfortable, even though I have that feature turned off.
Again, 15-year-old with a learner's permit. It's absolutely no better than a beginner driver, which is, again, it just sort of, like, considering the amount of hype and time and energy that went into this, it just seems like they could do better.
Now it's stopped at the stop sign, which is good, but this is a kind of a blind T intersection. But luckily nobody was coming. Now it's got to accelerate up to 60 miles per hour on this road, and it's accelerating to 55, 56, 57, and there it goes. Levels off at 57. Speed limit is 60, and the max is 60, and from living here for 23 years, I know that if you drive 60 on this road, you get run over. If you drive 57, you're hindering traffic. So I am going to depress the accelerator and get it to 60. I'm actually going to bump the max up to 65 and just let it see what it does. Drop down to 59. Come on. There's 63, and let's see if it holds it.
Just went down to 62.
Yep.
Again, there's no reason for it to be doing this. This is a straight road. There are no obstacles.
There are
There's
clearly
clear
painted lines. Yep.
There's not a lot of traffic. There's really no reason for it to be lowering its speed.
And now down to 61. Anyway, that I absolutely cannot stand about this new FSD software compared to the old one that we just used on that road trip. On the freeway, it was great. It wouldn't have liked this kind of road anyway. But this FSD software does this on the freeway too, which it's frustrating, it's annoying, and is probably the #1 reason why I will not renew it for another month. We just hit the brakes. The speed limit just dropped to 55, and it dropped us down to 49. If this was not a Sunday, we would now be being tailgated by people.
Yeah.
We're very familiar with people tailgating on this road, so I'm going to have to bring the accelerator back up so we're at least going the correct speed. Now we've got a speed trap coming up right here. there's our warning sign to 40. It drops to 40, and the police in this little town do not mess around, or at least they didn't used to mess around. And here's the speed limit sign, there's the braking, and we are decelerating to 40 miles an hour. So it caught that speed zone
39.
just right, but it went to, that's fine. If it goes down by 1 mile an hour decelerating, it's not a problem, but I'm gonna give it just a little press on the accelerator. Come on, there we go, there's 40, because we're going uphill, I had to press a little harder than I thought. So now we're maintaining the 40. Yesterday when I was driving in on this route, there were cars in front of me. There's a railroad crossing coming up, and the car did know to not stop on the railroad track. There was plenty of room. I mean, if it was stopping for normal spacing behind a vehicle at a red light, it would have had to stop on the railroad track, but it knew not to stop on the railroad track, which was that part I liked.
Was that not previously the case?
Well, I don't know if that wasn't previously the case, but I don't think we had ever tested that, or I had ever noticed it. I was just paying attention, is it going to stop on the railroad track or not? And it did not do that. We've decelerated to 38 miles per hour again, and again for no reason. However, here's a plus to this new FSD software. We've been driving for 10 miles. I've had FSD engaged for 9 miles. We've been recording for 10 minutes and 50 seconds at this point, and I have not had a nag. It has not told me to apply pressure to the wheel or anything like that, because I've been looking at the road, and it's now doing what I always wanted it to do with the camera, and it's doing that. If they had added that and not taken away the speed adjustment, I might consider keeping it. But they took away a feature I liked, and I really appreciate it. So we're slowing down. Here's the railroad track. We're going gently over the railroad track and inching up to the stoplight. So we don't get to actually get it on the railroad track, but hey, here we are.
So it seems like they made a couple of adjustments that you do like and one major adjustment that you don't like. And that major adjustment that you don't like is bad enough that you are definitely not going to keep it after this month is up, right?
Where we live, if you set the cruise at the speed limit, you're already going to be the slowest car on the road. And if the car goes below, you're a road hazard here. And this full self-driving is supposed to relieve, it's supposed to make driving less stressful, not more. And when I have to constantly adjust the speed, it's like, why bother even having cruise control if I have to constantly be adjusting the speed manually? I love the traffic-aware cruise control and the adaptive cruise control that this car has, and that feature takes it away in FSD. It seems like it does.
So your adaptive cruise control, like if you have that, it'll still be the way you like it, right?
And the car thinks we're in a 40 mile an hour zone right now. We're in a 50 mile an hour zone. That's what the signs say. Yeah. But it thinks we're in a 40, so I have to get it there, put it at 50. I can still set the speed, it's just the car doesn't want to do the speed. So here's the 60 mile per hour sign. It sees it, we're doing 60, now we've got cars behind us, and now there's skin in the game. So I will accelerate, and I'm going to get the car to 63. I have it set at 65, we'll see what it does. But now we've got cars behind us, and I can't let it impede traffic, because the car doesn't want to drive the speed that I set it to. With the traffic-aware cruise control, I could set the speed, and it would maintain that max speed perfectly until I got into traffic, and it would handle the deceleration for me. Love that feature. And this still does that part of it, but it won't re-accelerate when we're clear, or when we go through, when the speed limit increases back there. I had to do that manually by pressing the accelerator. Moving the wheel did nothing.
You know, I've been racking my brain trying to figure out what they were thinking. I mean, what kind of feedback did they get that they thought it was a good idea to have the car consistently go less than you asked it to go?
maybe too many Tesla drivers are speeding. I don't know. But what I do know about this road is if you go the speed limit, you are going to get tailgated. You're going to impede traffic. It's two-way traffic. They're going to pass you into oncoming.
It's very stressful. Yeah.
Yeah. It causes a lot of stress to have to keep doing that. The said, it's maintained the 65 now for maybe a quarter of a mile.
It's behaving at the moment. But again, this is the easiest thing right now. Like your 15-year-old with your learner's permit would also be doing fine here, right?
Now, I want to address a lot of the driving that I've been doing that's had FSD engaged on this route over the last week. I've been driving this route every single day, 7 days in a row now. But the previous 6 days, I'd be driving on the way back at night, and there's no lights out here. So the car on this road at night did fine. In the small town that we're going to, it did fine because there were street lights. But the roads that we were on before, where we had turns and we're in the country and there's no lights or anything like that, since it's operating off the cameras, the car couldn't see. It would miss the turns. It would be jerky when it was trying to make a turn. It didn't know if the road was there. It was really confused. And luckily there was no one behind me at the time. And that has me genuinely concerned, because earlier this week, this video we're filming this a couple of weeks before it comes out. Earlier this week, Tesla did their CyberCab reveal. And based off of this FSD software, that car's not going to be coming anytime soon. This is not ready to not have a driver intervene. I decelerated to 62 again. Because at night, but a lot of times people are going to use cabs at night. The car can't see well enough at night to make it to the destination. I never was able to get home without having to take over within a mile or two. It made it quite a ways, but it did not get me door to door. And for a driverless car that's billed as a cab or taxi, whether it has cyber or robo in front of it, it needs to be able to take the passenger from door to door. And right now, it's not anywhere near that.
Yeah, I mean, like I keep saying, the FSD right now is at best about as good as, a beginner driver. It is not even as good as like we can drive by ourselves, obviously, and it's not as good, it's not better than a human driver, which you would hope for. I mean, if you're going to get into a car that has no driver, and you might be a child, you might have children with you, you might be drunk, you might be impaired, you might be in a situation where you really need to be driven and not able to drive yourself. Maybe you just had surgery, maybe you're on medication. You need your car to be competent. And the technology that we've seen is absolutely not at that point, not even close.
Let me explain what just happened, because as we're approaching this small city of Cleburne, Texas in front of us, the speed limit on this road drops from 60 to 55. Now in the settings, I have this set at a plus 5 mile per hour offset, but I don't have a percentage offset set either, so it goes straight to 55. And I had the cruise, we're doing 62-ish. We hit that, it dropped us down to 52 and had the max speed reset to 55. I bumped the max speed to 60 and used the accelerator to get it to 57, but it is again losing speed. It's back down to 56. It has that plus on the miles per hour offset, and it has the plus on the percentage offset, and a lot of Tesla owners out there are probably going to get on me in the comments of, I need to use the percentage and not the mile per hour, but why have both if you have to engage one to make either of them work?
That makes sense. That's a good question.
Why have both? Do it by mile per hour or do it by percentage, but don't give us there's a little bit of roadkill there that the car avoided, so that was good. But why give us the belief that we can do it one way if we have to do it the other way to make that way work?
I mean, I can only imagine. I know engineers and software developers are always under a lot of pressure, and they always have, you know, a lot of work to do, and patches are not easy, but, you know, this is extremely important as a safety feature, and it has a lot of hype behind it, and I would just like to see them do a better job, honestly.
At that Robotaxi CyberCab event, one of the things that was said was we're going to do unsupervised FSD next year in California and Texas. Well, we live in Texas, and next year's just a couple of months away. And unless they're hiding some magic bullet software, I don't see that happening.
Yeah, I don't believe it. I have no reason to think that they've got extra, you know, magic stuff that works better that they're not letting anybody see. I think it's just hype. I think that they want to be able to have it. They've been promising it for like 25 years.
Not 25, more like 15.
Okay, let's say 15 years. But they've been promising it, and they just can't do it. And it's just much harder. That last, you know, 5-10% is much harder than the first, you know, 90-95%. And I find it hard to believe they're really ever going to get at that point unless they like redo all the roads to like have exactly the type of paintings and, you know, I don't know, underlayment or whatever they need to make it super easy on the cars. I just don't see that they're ever going to get there.
So let's talk about this full self-driving supervised software for what it really is. And if you look at it at what it really is, then it does a good job. It's driver assistance.
Yes.
It is not autonomous.
Yes.
The car needs input. The car needs less input from me now with the vision monitoring, but it still needs input from me. Especially as far as determining the speed. It knows what speed to go based on what's in front of it, but not based on what's behind it. As far as, you know, if there's a vehicle inching up on you, it knows to move over a lane. But if you're on a road like this where you can't do a lane change, it doesn't know that it should speed up. But especially if it's not even going the speed limit. Now we're coming up on another speed zone. We're about to drop 45 miles per hour there, where there's the braking. We have decelerated below 45 miles per hour to 42, 41. We have
40,
a very,
39,
very, well, we're slowing down for a turn
There's a
now.
stop now, yeah.
This is a very tricky intersection, but the traffic's not too bad. We're coming in at a bad angle into a 3-lane road that has a lane that ends immediately. And we can get over, so we're good.
It did it.
Yeah, it did that intersection pretty well, but also the traffic wasn't that bad.
True.
We have had, there are times we drive through that intersection where the traffic's a lot worse.
Oh, yeah.
So we're getting close to our destination, and we're going to see how the car handles arrival. It's not going a route that I would prefer to go. And probably at that intersection, I would have disengaged. If we weren't doing this video, I would have disengaged FSD. One, so I could handle that intersection manually, and two, so I could turn here at this intersection, because that's the way that I go to this particular location. I don't know if you go that way. But the car is very set on the navigation that it wants to go on, and it doesn't care if there's construction on that road or heavy traffic. And these are roads we drive frequently enough. We know when the traffic's heavy. We know where the construction zones are. And we're going way too slow to get over. I may have to accelerate just so we can go.
Oh, it gave you a nag.
Yeah, because I was watching the
Traffic.
mirror
Yeah.
to know when I could get over. It's a 30-mile-an-hour road, but again, this is not 30 miles per hour here. It's 40, and so it's misreading the speed limit sign. It needs to turn here. Those are the first nags that it gave me, though, on this whole trip. So that was 20 miles without a nag, and it was because I was watching a mirror. Are we good? Are we good? Are we good? Yeah. Okay, good turn there. We're coming up on a stop sign, and then it's got to make a turn on a street with no controls at it. So we're stopped behind the line, and we're going. And it again, because it's daylight and it's camera based, it's making these turns well. At night, not so much. And when are people most likely going to be using a cab at night? So this should be our last turn, and the final test, and we'll see where the car stops. Well, that's a nice smooth turn there. And it looks like it's parking on the curb.
Yeah, that's where I would have parked.
And it's pretty about where you would have parked?
Yeah, because it's in the shade of the building. That's usually where I park in the daytime. Yeah. So,
and it's moving the wheels so that they're pointed more toward the curb. Now we're sticking out from the curb a bit. Let me show you. Well, you can't really tell from that camera angle. Never mind. So final thoughts?
Sorry, I wanted to watch the phantom wheel movement.
It's like, what am I doing?
It's just kind of sitting there.
Oh, no, maybe it wants to move. I'm going to put it in park.
Yeah. It's like, do you not like my parking job? It doesn't know what to do.
Yeah, I'm going to move the car again anyway. So there are improvements in this FSD software, especially on the attention monitoring. I like that. I really do not like the lack of accuracy on the speed control.
Yeah.
I could understand it if we were in heavy traffic or if we were in inclement weather, but as you can see, it is a beautiful sunny day. There's not a single cloud in the sky. We had very, very little traffic. Most of the roads we were on didn't have more than one lane, and very little in the way of traffic controls, and it would still decelerate or allow the speed to drop for no reason. And the only reason that wasn't a bigger problem was that there wasn't much traffic.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think that right now, based off the condition of the software, that it's ready for unsupervised FSD, and I don't think we're ready for autonomous driving. However, as a driver assist feature, it works very well, or at least it did. If you take the speed control from 12.3.6 and you put it with the attention monitoring of this one, I might consider keeping it. But right now, no. I will be canceling the subscription before I have to pay for another month. So we shall go from there. If you like this video, please give us a comment. If you have, I'm sure I'm going to have a bunch of people disagree with us on FSD, and you're welcome to. We're just saying our opinions on this stuff, and your opinion can be different. Your mileage may vary, and your personal preferences may be fine with this. But great. There are plenty of other things I'm sure that we would agree on. But go ahead and put down your experience with FSD. Put down anything that you want in the comments. We'll be fine. My skin's gotten thicker. It just has. Subscribe for more content, guys. Thanks for watching.